I'm not there yet. Not yet. Well, go back. Go back. Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to another kid's story. So today, I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit about history and taking you through a very quick journey through some of our biggest inventions of the last couple hundred years. And the important thing about these inventions is that people were scared of them in the beginning until they eventually got used to them.
Number 1.
One of the greatest technologies of the last 200 years, something that we absolutely cannot live without today, caused a lot of fear, worry, and of course, tall stories to go around when it first came out. I'm of course talking about electricity. Electricity. I'm talking about electricity. So this is a very interesting story. When electricity first started coming out, people had mixed feelings about it because they had all of these wires all over the place now, and they knew you could get electrocuted, and they knew it was quite dangerous. They knew it could potentially hurt you, just like we know today. But they seemed to have some funny ideas about electricity as well. And there was whole groups of people, they were called the anti-electricity movement. And they were spreading all of these stories that animals that walked under power lines would start to faint. And that there's some funny things would happen to their brains, that cows that were underneath power lines for too long, it would make their milk turn bad inside of them already. They just started spreading all of these rumors and this false stuff, and it was very, very bad. And then they used to make all of these cartoons as well, like this very famous cartoon right here. You can see there's some guy tangled up in the wires there. No idea how he got up there, because they seem to think that it would be very easy and very tempting for people to just try and climb up and play in the lines. They thought that children would go try to play on the lines all the time. Well, in the end, that didn't happen, and we learned more about electricity. We learned how to make it safer, and today, electricity is everywhere, unless it's load shedding, of course. So this next one is also quite interesting. We're talking about telephones. Now, I had a cell phone now. You all know what cell phones are like. But way back in the dark ages, when your parents were little, the telephones used to have to be hooked to the wall. And they had all of these wires that came out of it, and they went into the wall and under the ground and up into the sky and all sorts of places. But anyway, it started to freak people out a little bit, that you could hear someone's voice coming through this thin wire, and they didn't really get this. And some preachers, especially preachers in a country called Sweden, started telling everybody that these wires that were connecting the phones could actually attract evil spirits, and that the evil spirits would be able to travel through the lines to get into people's houses and to get into their minds and everything. No idea where they got that information or that idea, but it's definitely not true. Well, even if it is true, we're fine and we're safe now because we have cell phones, which don't have wires.
Okay. Number 3.
The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is cars. Before we had cars, we had horse-drawn carriages. I'm sure you've all seen them in the movies. When cars first started coming out, a lot of people were really against them, because they thought that the horse and carriage was safer because the horse and carriage had 2 brains. See, if you're driving a car, you've only got your one human brain. But if you've got a horse-drawn carriage, you've got your human brain and a horse brain. Clearly that's safer. Thing is, cars have brakes. Did I go on?
Still much to learn, you have.
Now, what's the thing that connects these stories? What is it about the way people reacted to the electricity, to the telephones, and to the cars that brings them all together? The thing is, they were all new inventions, and people didn't understand them. And when people don't understand something, they get scared of it. They fear it. and they start to come up with stories and ideas about it, and they start trying to say that it's evil. Anytime we don't understand something, one of our first reactions to it is to say that it's evil. We see that happen in Jesus' time as well. Jesus was traveling around. Jesus was talking. Jesus was preaching. But he was preaching a new message. He was preaching something that people didn't understand. And when the people saw Jesus doing miracles, because he did do miracles, when they saw this, they didn't understand it. So they said that Jesus was doing it through the power of the devil and that he was evil. Well, you and I both know that Jesus definitely was not evil. But because the people didn't understand it, that's what they thought. And we can look back now and learn from the mistakes of history and say that maybe if we don't understand something, instead of getting scared of it straight away, we should investigate it. Those people that didn't understand Jesus' message, if they'd spent some time learning what he was saying, if they'd spent some time going back and researching, they definitely wouldn't have called him evil. Instead, they would have run up and given him a big old hug because they would have known exactly who he was. So, boys and girls, enjoy the rest of your day, and remember, ask questions. Learn. Don't just run away in fear. Learn. You never know, you might find something really, really good.